There is a genuine, almost architectural weight to a well-built gabion wall that no poured concrete retaining wall or stacked timber border quite manages to replicate. The sense that this specific structure could sit in your garden for decades, weathering every season while quietly holding back a slope or defining a raised bed with a texture that looks equally at home in a modern minimalist garden or a genuinely rustic cottage landscape. Building your own gabion wall from wire mesh and stone is a genuinely achievable weekend-to-weekend project for a determined beginner. Costs considerably less than an equivalent contracted retaining wall, and once you understand the structural fundamentals, drainage requirements, and a few genuine safety limits worth respecting, it becomes one of the most satisfying and visually striking hardscaping projects available to a home gardener. Understanding what a gabion wall actually is clarifies why the technique works so reliably across genuinely different garden applications. At its core, a gabion is simply a welded or woven wire mesh cage filled with stone, and the sheer weight and friction of that stacked stone fill, combined with the wire cage holding everything in a defined shape, creates a structure that is both remarkably heavy and, critically, genuinely permeable to water. A combination that makes gabions particularly well-suited to retaining walls, garden borders, and slope stabilization projects where a solid concrete barrier would actually trap water pressure behind it and eventually fail. Galvanized or PVC-coated welded wire mesh, specifically sold in cage kit form or as flat panels you assemble yourself, resists the rust and corrosion that plain uncoated wire would develop within just a season or two of outdoor exposure, making this coating choice genuinely non-negotiable for anything you intend to keep in your garden for years rather than a single season. Building your basic gabion cage is refreshingly approachable once you have sourced the right materials. Welded wire mesh panels, typically sold in 2x2 inch or 3x3 inch grid openings, get cut to your desired wall dimensions using bolt cutters or heavy wire snips, then assembled into a rectangular box shape using galvanized hog rings, spiral binding wire, or simple zip ties rated for outdoor use, with internal cross-bracing wires added roughly every 12 to 16 inches to prevent the mesh from bulging outward under the genuine weight of the stone fill once loaded. For anything beyond a genuinely low garden border, roughly 2 feet in height or less, consulting your local building codes before proceeding is worth doing, since many American municipalities specifically regulate retaining wall height, requiring a permit or professional engineering review once a wall exceeds a certain threshold, commonly somewhere between 3 and 4 feet, depending on your specific jurisdiction, a regulation that exists because a taller retaining wall genuinely holds back significant soil weight and pressure that a beginner's first hardscaping project should not be the one testing those engineering limits on. A modest toolkit and genuine attention to physical safety cover the entire build. Heavy-duty gloves, safety glasses for cutting wire, and sturdy closed-toe boots protect against the genuinely sharp cut edges wire mesh leaves behind and the real risk of dropped stone during filling. Given how quickly stone weight adds up, using proper lifting technique, bending at the knees rather than the back, and enlisting a second person for larger stones protects against the kind of lower back strain that landscaping projects are genuinely notorious for causing. When approached carelessly, a wheelbarrow for transporting stone from your delivery pile to the cage itself saves considerable repeated trips and physical strain compared to carrying stone by hand across any real distance. Filling your assembled cage with stone is where this project becomes genuinely satisfying physical work, and a few technique details meaningfully improve both the finished appearance and the wall's long-term structural stability. Placing larger, flatter stones deliberately along the visible outer face of the cage, saving smaller, more irregular rubble for the hidden interior fill, creates a considerably more polished, intentional look than simply dumping mixed stone in randomly and hoping for the best, a technique professional Gabion installers rely on specifically for this reason. Filling in modest layers rather than all at once, periodically checking that your cross-bracing wires are holding the mesh walls straight rather than bulging outward under the accumulating weight, catches a structural issue while it is still a simple fix rather than after the entire cage is loaded and considerably harder to adjust. Sourcing your actual stone locally, whether from a landscaping supplier selling fill-grade rock by the ton, or, in some regions, genuinely free field stone you can gather yourself with a property owner's permission, keeps costs reasonable for anything beyond a small accent border, since stone fill by volume adds up considerably faster than most first-time builders initially expect. Drainage is genuinely the single most important consideration if you are building your gabion as a retaining wall rather than a simple freestanding garden border, and this is the direct equivalent of a correct watering routine for this particular project. A retaining wall holds back soil that will, especially after rain, want to push water and hydrostatic pressure directly against the back of your structure. And while a gabion's naturally permeable stone fill handles a meaningful amount of this drainage on its own simply by design, adding a layer of landscape drainage fabric between your backfill soil and the gabion's rear face, along with a perforated drain pipe positioned at the base leading water safely away from the structure, protects against the kind of sustained pressure buildup that can eventually shift or bulge even a well-built gabion wall over years of heavy seasonal rain. This same drainage principle explains why a gabion wall genuinely outperforms a solid concrete retaining wall in many residential applications, since water finding its way through the stone fill rather than pooling dangerously behind a solid barrier is a feature of the design rather than a flaw to fix. Beyond a simple, straight retaining wall, gabion construction genuinely lends itself to creative variation once you have the basic technique down. A wide, flat-topped gabion, built to a comfortable sitting height around 18 inches, doubles as informal garden seating, while curved or stepped multi-tier designs let you terrace a genuinely steep slope into several shorter, individually manageable walls, rather than one tall structure that would otherwise trigger the permit and engineering considerations mentioned earlier. Light and temperature considerations for your finished gabion wall function differently than they would for a living plant, though the effects are genuinely worth understanding for anyone placing this structure thoughtfully within a garden. Stone possesses substantial thermal mass, meaning a gabion wall positioned in a genuinely sunny spot absorbs heat throughout the day and radiates that warmth back out slowly through the evening, a passive solar effect that can meaningfully extend the growing season for any cold-sensitive plants positioned directly against or very near the wall's sun-facing side, sometimes providing just enough of a buffer to protect tender spring transplants from an unexpected late frost. This same thermal cycling, expansion during hot days and contraction during cold nights, applies to the structure itself too, and in genuinely cold climates with hard freeze-thaw cycles, ensuring your wire mesh and any connection points are rated for full outdoor exposure across a wide temperature range prevents the kind of gradual metal fatigue that cheaper, non-rated wire can develop after repeated seasonal cycling. The research behind gabion structures reaches genuinely far beyond garden decor into serious civil engineering literature, since this exact stone and wire technique has been used at genuinely massive scale for erosion control, riverbank stabilization, and highway retaining walls for well over a century. Engineering research on gabion performance has consistently found that the structure's inherent flexibility, the wire cage and loose stone fill can shift slightly and redistribute load rather than cracking rigidly the way concrete does underground movement, gives gabion's genuinely superior resilience in areas with shifting or settling soil compared to more rigid retaining wall alternatives. A property that scales down meaningfully even to a residential garden application. Separate research on thermal mass in landscape design has documented stone's heat storage and radiation properties in considerable technical detail, findings originally developed for passive solar building design that apply directly to garden-scale stone structures positioned to take advantage of the same basic physics. There is also genuine research specific to material texture and biophilic design, with environmental psychology studies finding that natural stone's irregular, tactile surface is consistently rated by study participants as more visually calming and grounding than smooth, uniform manufactured materials, and effect researchers link to an evolved human association between natural stone textures and genuinely stable, safe environments. The effect of building a genuinely substantial structure like this on your own body and mind connects to research on physical labor and tangible accomplishment discussed across many hardscaping and construction-adjacent hobbies. Moving and placing stone is legitimately demanding physical work, and studies measuring cardiovascular engagement during manual landscaping labor place it comfortably alongside other vigorous forms of yard work associated with genuine cardiovascular health benefits when performed safely and consistently over time. There is also a documented psychological dimension specific to building something with obvious, visible permanence, since research on craft satisfaction has found that projects resulting in a structure perceived as genuinely long-lasting, a stone wall standing for decades rather than a seasonal planting that will be replaced next year, correlate with measurably higher reported pride and life satisfaction among the people who built them. Part of why so many Gabion wall builders describe the finished structure as a genuinely defining feature of their garden's identity, rather than simply one project among many. If you are specifically incorporating living plants into your Gabion design, a genuinely popular technique involves leaving small soil-filled pockets among the stone face during construction, then tucking drought-tolerant, shallow-rooted species like sedum, hens, and chicks, or creeping thyme directly into these gaps, taking advantage of the excellent drainage and radiant warmth the stone provides. Watering these specific pocket plantings follows fundamentally different logic than a typical garden bed, since the stone's excellent drainage means water moves through and away from root zones considerably faster than in standard soil, making these particular plantings genuinely more drought-tolerant selections, by necessity rather than a design constraint you are fighting against. And choosing species that specifically prefer this fast-draining, sun-warmed environment sets you up for genuine success rather than a constant losing battle against a structure's inherent physical properties. Fertilizing and pruning apply almost entirely to whatever plants you have tucked into your Gabion stone pockets rather than the structure itself, and both should follow the light touch approach appropriate for genuinely drought-tolerant rock garden species. A very light, diluted feeding once or twice during the growing season, considerably less than a standard garden bed would need, prevents overfeeding species specifically adapted to nutrient-poor, rocky native environments, since pushing lush, soft growth on a plant genuinely bred for lean, tough conditions can actually weaken its natural resilience rather than improve it. Pruning here means simply trimming back any pocket plant that begins spreading beyond its intended gap and onto neighboring stone faces, a light, occasional maintenance task rather than a demanding seasonal chore given how slowly most rock garden species genuinely grow compared to typical bedding plants. Even a well-built Gabion wall runs into predictable issues over time, and knowing how to read them takes most of the guesswork out of long-term maintenance. Visible bulging along one section of mesh almost always indicates insufficient cross-bracing during the original build, and while a fully loaded wall is difficult to retrofit without partial disassembly, catching this early during construction by checking bracing every few fill layers prevents the problem entirely. Rust developing on exposed wire, particularly at cut edges or connection points where the protective coating may have been compromised during assembly, is worth touching up with a cold galvanizing compound specifically formulated for this repair, since untreated rust spots will eventually compromise the wire's structural integrity at exactly the points already under the most mechanical stress. Settling or a slight forward lean developing over the first year or two after construction is a genuinely normal part of the stone fill compacting and finding its final resting position, though a lean that continues progressing rather than stabilizing after that initial settling period signals a genuine drainage or foundation issue worth investigating rather than ignoring. And if pocket plantings tucked into your stone face keep failing, despite choosing genuinely drought-tolerant species, checking whether your specific pocket actually receives adequate light for that plant's needs, rather than assuming any gap in the stone face is equally suitable, usually reveals the actual mismatch behind repeated planting failures. Building a genuinely lasting gabion wall really comes down to respecting a short list of fundamentals. Choose properly coated wire mesh rated for long-term outdoor exposure. Check your local codes before building anything beyond a modest garden border height. Brace your cage thoroughly as you fill it. Install genuine drainage behind any retaining application. And if you are incorporating plants, choose genuinely drought-tolerant species suited to the stone's naturally fast-draining, sun-warmed environment. Handle those details with intention, and you will end up with a structure that looks, quite genuinely, like it has always belonged in your garden, growing more visually settled and appealing with every passing year rather than needing to be replaced. If you love learning about seasonal flowering plants, vegetables, gardening tips, and nature care, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Nature Nurtures. Hub your home for year-round garden inspiration. Let's keep growing together.